Hey, good morning. It's Mike Zschunke, Berkshire Hathaway Homes and Shipton Properties in Scottsdale, Arizona. Friday morning market chat live. We're going to talk about residential. We're going to talk about the commercial market. We're going to talk about the economy. And then, I don't know, something miscellaneous, deep thoughts or something at the end. Actually, I have a couple ideas. I like to keep these to, I used to like to keep them to 10 minutes. I like to keep these to about 15, 20 minutes maybe, just for shareability. And I'm just touching the top of these topics. If you want to know more, let me know. These are interactive. These are for you. Anyway, I got kind of thrown off. I just got a notice. Paradise Valley had a $40 million sale. It's a new record for the state of Arizona by quite a bit. I think the previous record was 32 or 36 million. Of course, 70 days on market. These kind of playing it. We've seen the property. It's what, 21,000 square feet on 2 acres. It's pretty amazing. But anyway, $40 million, Paradise Valley. Wow. I'll send you, let me know. I'll send you the details on that. Not mine. I wish it was mine. But anyway, inventory. Multiple listing service in Maricopa County increased a little bit this week. Scottsdale dropped again. We are back to January 2025 inventory numbers for Scottsdale. Paradise Valley's light, Cave Creek's a little light, Fountain Hills, the more popular area. And it's just that higher end market. There's money coming into Arizona. But what you'll see the headlines. Existing home sales nationwide. A lot of headlines, a lot of people on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, want to paint the doom and gloom. I'm the most optimistic person you may meet. How I jump out of bed in the morning and say, let's go get it. My wife always rolls her eyes, but she's the best. Anyway, existing home sales dropped 2.4% from May for June. We're just getting June numbers now, statistics and things like that. But if you look year over year, we're almost 3% more existing home sales than we were last June. So people are getting used to where the market is. The rates are what they are. You can't change them. What did I say? We only worry about what we can control. If you want to buy a house and you can afford it, let's go find it for you. If you want to sell your house and the numbers work out, let's sit down, look at the numbers, see if we can get you in a smaller place or a bigger place or move a different location, whatever. Every deal is different, everything. So that's where we sit down. The initial meeting, initial consultation is absolutely non-negotiable. Actually, I have missed it on the past few with clients that I'm working with, but it's important. Lets me know you, lets you know me. Are we going to be able to work together? And can I get you where you want to be? So if not, I can point you in the right direction. I want to point out, though, with these headlines and mixed and things like that, I have a word of caution. I was looking yesterday. I read there was a study done by Science Magazine. False information is 70% more likely to be spread on social media and the internet than true information. I don't understand that. I check everything. I check details. So yesterday I was checking some of the statistics, pulling closed sales prices for certain areas, and I was going to four different resources, multiple listing service. Yes, I do check Zillow stats, Redfin. I was checking my own website, Phoenix area real estate, four different sources of statistics for June. Every one of them were different and significantly different actually too. So be careful what you're looking at. Are they including townhouses or single family homes? Most agents just pull up, most headlines you see, it's townhouses, condos, single family homes nationwide. Your specific neighborhood could be completely different. The condo market in Scottsdale is completely different than the single family detached homes. There's a lot of building, a lot of development of the apartments and condos and townhouses. Single family home, we need more houses, single family detached. Maybe it's just the clients I work with, but we've done a couple of condos over the year. I don't do a whole lot of leases, but we're mostly single family detached homes in the $1 to $2 million range. But we also I sold a $350,000 earlier the year, in Phoenix. But, anyway, just look at the statistics. Real estate is one of those things you cannot make a blank statement. Like, pineapple on your pizza. Is it good? It might be to some people. It's not to me. But, you can't make a blanket statement. Is the real estate market good or the real estate market bad? What's your perspective? What are you looking at? Look at the parameters that are being in the headlines. Everybody's got an agenda these days, and it's it's all about exposure, I guess it is. But anyway, Greater Phoenix area, we did have more sales this June than last June, up about 8% more. Volume is still down. We're seeing a lot of realtors leave the market. Maybe that's a good thing. But anyway, what did I see? Berkshire, our average agent has been in the business for 10.3 years. Most agents I don't know the number, and I'm not going to say it because I don't know the number, but I want to say 80 or 90% of agents don't make it 5 years in the business. And, you learn I'm learning something new every day. If you haven't watched our Thursday afternoon, I don't know if it's a podcast or a YouTube show, but it's just me and a friend of mine in St. Louis. We're just online. It's on my YouTube channel at AZRE Broker, or his is Darewood Realty. And we just sit down. We're probably going to get in trouble, but we're not going to make everybody happy. We just sit down uncandidly or candidly? Unfiltered. We just sit down and talk about real estate topics. And it's really fun. It's 2 hours long and it flies by, but not going to make everybody happy, but it's the truth, with me and him. If you need a realtor in St. Louis, let me know. He's awesome. So I actually met him on Twitter. Super, super nice guy. We got a lot in common. So just two old guys. Can I say bullshitting about real estate? It's kind of fun. So anyway, Scottsdale single family homes was up. We look at something called in the industry, we look at something called absorption rates. It's the percentage of its sold listings over divided by active listings. It's just how quickly are homes being absorbed into the market. Scottsdale right now is about 38%. Almost double where we were last June. Not quite, 75% more, 70% more than last June. But then again, I hate to throw out the specific numbers because your deal is specific to you and deal. But anyway, absorption rate. Homes are being absorbed into the market, being sold a lot quicker or not a lot quicker, but quicker than they're being absorbed into the market faster than they were last June. Even though days on market is longer. I don't have enough time to explain to that. But say you have 100 active listings in an area, you have 100 active listings in a month. 35 of those sells, you're at a 35% absorption rate. 35% of those homes are being absorbed into the buying pool. So right now we're about 38% in Scottsdale. Over 20% absorption rate is considered a seller's market. And again, you may look at Phoenix, you may look at Buckeye, Mesa, or Peoria. I'm going to touch on Peoria. Peoria is super hot. We did a couple deals there earlier this year. Peoria is awesome. It reminds me of Scottsdale about 5, 7, 10 years ago. Just a lot of developing going on. It's hot. Values are really increasing in Peoria. So if you're looking for that, and so anyway, I thought that was interesting. We have very low new listings. It's to be expected. We're heading into the summer months. We're almost halfway through July here, with July 10th. It's a little bit quiet around town. It's nice for those of us that live here. We make a lot of weekend trips to see our adult kids in California. And if you're in Southern California and you want to do yoga in Santa Monica, let me know. I'm pretty proud of one of our girls is doing yoga on the beach there, so I'm pretty proud of that. Proud dad moment. But anyway, we're around all summer. Scottsdale's gotten a little bit quiet. It's nice traffic, but there's buyers that are here. The calls that we're getting, they are serious buyers. They've got about a month before school starts in Scottsdale, so they want to get in. There's a lot of companies moving to the area. As I've said the past few weeks, I don't agree with taking your house off the market for the summer in Phoenix or Scottsdale because the buyers that are here are serious buyers. So anyway, let me know. Every situation's different. With the lower inventory and new listings drying up a little bit, we should see some lower sales numbers in the next month or two, which the mainstream media is going to love that. But anyway, prices are pretty steady. Prices are across the valley. They're pretty even. Make sure you're looking median. Average per square foot is pretty even. Median per square foot, that means half sold higher and half sold lower. In Scottsdale, it's 4%. It's higher. So basically, it costs you 4% more per square foot in Scottsdale to buy a house right now than it did last July. July, same thing. Anyway, yeah, so don't take your house off the market. You might get a little bit more, and like I said, the buyers are there. There's a lot happening off market. I saw two this week in Silverleaf alone come on under contract. Came on under the market, previously listed, and we can see those, you can't. So let me know what you're looking for, and we'll go find it. So anyway, commercial real estate. We're still working on that Roosevelt Row. We had a good price drop to $950,000. Mixed use. This week I was working a lot on helping a couple of finances, end users. If you're a young if you want to have your own hair salon, your own day spa, I believe in working for yourself. You don't always get a paycheck at the end of the week, but I believe that there's no limit to what you can earn. I'm a big believer in small business. So we've been working on finding financing for a couple of these interest parties, younger hair salon owners. If you want a day spa, ice cream shop. Somebody called us if we can open an ice cream shop there. Just a neat building. About 1,000 square feet retail downstairs, 750 of the apartment upstairs. So you can get about $2,000 a month from that apartment upstairs, support your business downstairs, or you can live upstairs. It's a pretty neat setup, and it's neat. If I was 30 years old and starting a business, it's a neat area, Roosevelt Row in downtown Phoenix. So anyway, Peoria, I wanted to touch on that. There's a new grocery store development going in on Happy Valley Road and Lake Pleasant Parkway. Pleasant Lake Parkway. Oops. And got my little timer here to try and keep me online, but now we're off, so we'll just throw that out the window. But anyway, we may go a little long. And I say, I point out these new developments because if you're an investor, a commercial real estate person, look at what's happening. Look where the big money is going. Scottsdale, McCormick Ranch is kind of getting a freshening up. There's a lot of money going into that lake development, McCormick Lake. It's a very nice area. We're actually looking for a couple properties there now for our client. But just needs a little bit freshening up. It's that older area, but it's becoming younger. Kids walking babies in strollers and out for walks. So the developer sees the opportunity. They're going to bring in some new mixed use around the lake. I forget how much they're spending, but they're spending a lot of money anyway. Peoria approved, Pinal County, Casa Grande. I don't get down there much, but I want to touch base real quick. They approved a battery storage facility. And why do I bring this up? Because the residents were real pissed off about it. The residents fought that battery storage. So the developer, they went to the city council actually denied it at first. The developer went around their back. They went to the state level. They got approval. They're going to push it through. And I'm seeing more and more and more on that. Like the Scottsdale Axon development, whether you agree with it or not, I don't like the way they did. I think it was pretty unethical the way they went around to the state. And, everything's pay to play in any business. But, I believe in transparency and open to the product. But I'm starting to see that more and more. The developers are going to the state level to get approval and not really paying attention. So vote. We're voting now in Arizona for our primaries. Vote. Do your research. Don't believe the headlines. Do your research. Anyway, we could talk all day on that. Scottsdale Quarter got more funding for their redevelopment project, putting $100 million into Scottsdale Quarter. Another fun one, Vestar up off of I-17 up near that TSMC factory, which I said that's going to be completely different in 3 to 5 years. There's it's the number one development area in the world as far as funds coming in. But Vestar thought they did all the the entitlements and pre-planning. They thought they were going to sweep in there, put this mixed use. A company out of Virginia came in and stole it from them at the auction, the state land auction. State land is auctioned to the public. Somebody puts an application in, they do the homework, and then anybody can just come in and swoop it out from under them. So somebody in Virginia is keeping an eye on the Phoenix market, and they believe that it's a hot area. That's northwest area, and that's where Peoria comes in. Like we've did a couple deals earlier this year in Peoria, and those our buyers already have equity. They could, if they don't like the property they're in, we can already find them another place and get them in. Just because the value is in Peoria, people see the value there, and prices are increasing. And it's 12 years in the business. I've never had a a buyer have to sell less. I've gotten close a few times, but I've never had a buyer have to sell for less than they paid. So even with fees and costs, it costs money to make the transaction. But I take pride in that. So anyway, where are we going now? I need 7,000 to 10,000 square feet anywhere along North 101. Working on a couple clients, a new one, and then a past one. We're trying to get them. They've outgrown the space. I need 7,000 to 10,000 square feet. The problem is we got them such fantastic seller financing on the current building about 2.5 years ago that it's hard to get their payment. Their business is exploding. It's Baja 911. They make super cool product. Look at it. There's great people. They do a neat product with off-road Porsches. So we need 7,000 to 10,000 square feet. Let us know if you have that along the North 101 area anywhere. I've got a couple buyers. If you have that, I want it. We've got a buyer. So anyway, the economy. We got the Fed meeting. There's a lot of chirping and noise about the economy. I think everybody's too tied to. 6 months ago, nobody talked about crude oil. The economists did, but now everybody on X is an expert about crude oil prices moving in conjunction with bond prices. 6 months ago, nobody talked about that unless they were in the financial world. But I think, there's up and down. We can have a news story. We'll probably have a news story. I'll bet you $100 that this afternoon we get a news story from the Middle East and it affects the oil prices. Is it going to affect the U.S. bond prices? I don't think so. I think we've seen it a lot over there. But the economy, we got Fed rate meetings from 3 weeks ago. They released the meetings, and those have always been 3 weeks after they have the meeting. 3 weeks later, they issue the minutes for the meeting, what they talked about, and they want to review, they want to make sure. But the big part of that is they don't want to see a lot of volatility. The Fed's job, remember, the Fed is not here. The Federal Reserve Bank is not here to influence the market. Not at all. They're supposed to be a completely independent thing. Completely independent of the U.S. government. But we've had some of that mixing a little bit. Where was I going with that? Anyway, we got the meetings, the meeting minutes, and I listened to a really good podcast with David Zervos, Rick Santelli, and Steve Leisman, on all respectable guys. I used to stand next to Rick Santelli. He wouldn't know who I am, but we stood next to each other on the Board of Trade 25 years ago, and he is who he is on TV. And whether you likes CNBC or not, Rick Santelli he's the man. So he's a great guy. Anyway, they were talking about, David Servos brought up 4 months ago, we had people talk about half of the world was talking about rate cuts, and now we've got half of the world talking about a 50 basis point rate increase. Nothing has really changed. The underlying fundamentals have not changed. The U.S. Treasury keeps spending money. We had a 30-year bond auction yesterday. Highest yield on the 30-year bond. I don't want to go too deep into this, but the U.S. Treasury issues bonds to pay their expenses and keeps going into debt, and more debt. There is a market out there that expects some return on their investment for investing in the U.S. economy. Globally, rates are fairly higher than we've been used to. Not historically. We're still below historic rates in the United States. But the U.S. Treasury is still the most solid, best collateralized, safest investment in the world. So, but those, they do want to return. Anyway, the 30-year bond auction was as high, the bids were as high as they've been since 2007. And investors look, where are we going to place their money? This economy just keeps humming along. We've got, not that the stock market is the economy. I think now the word is bifurcated. I love that word. I learned it during my dad's heart surgery about bifurcation of the aorta. I don't know. We're getting off track there. But stock market's record highs. We've got strong corporate earnings. That's where I lean on with my experience and knowledge. Lean on the, hey, Sammy. That's my daughter. Strong corporate earnings. That's kind of where my history goes. If we have strong corporate earnings and people are working, the economy is moving. And that's where we are. So the economy keeps humming along, and people can talk about doom and gloom and pain all they want. Maybe we are there, maybe we are. Nobody knows. The economy keeps moving along. Focus on you. And I was listening, a little bit off track this morning, miscellaneous. I was listening to Rich Roll podcast. I don't know if you know Rich Roll. He's he's a performance athlete coach, and he had Dr. Kelly Stewart. Dr. Kelly Stewart was saying he's got this word called NARB, non-athletic regular person. NARP, non-athletic regular person. Everybody who's kind of into athletics or thing, they want the top supplements. They want the most expensive running shoe, which I'm guilty of. I buy the most expensive running shoes. But they don't need it. They're at their desk 10 hours a day. They're running 5 miles at night. These supplements and things like that, they are for that final 1%. You've got to overcome the first 95% to make any improvements on that 1%. Does it make sense? Tour de France riders, they're shaving seconds over a matter of days. So when you hear about this economic data or the housing data, don't pay attention to it. That's very small. That's for the top, the minuscule. That's to get that extra 1% advantage. It doesn't matter to you and I. You need a roof over your head. You need a place to raise your family. You need a cash flowing investment. Real estate's the greatest hedge to against inflation, and what we've had 5 down years, I guess, in history, but you're always pretty much going to get 4 or 5% on your real estate investment. But what I want to say is your primary residence is not necessarily an investment. It's an investment in yourself and your family. It's not having to move when your landlord says move. It's making a home. It's making those ticks as your kids get older. It ticks on the wall. How tall are they growing? It's creating memories. It's, I always said at $1 million house, you should be able to have a wedding in your backyard. I don't know if maybe that might be $2 or $3 million now in Scottsdale. But anyway, so I even do this. I try and skip the top. That's all noise. It's all noise. Just pay attention. Give me a shout. We'll look at your numbers, look at your deal. Can I help you improve where you live, improve your investments? I'm not a financial advisor. I was licensed Series 63 and Series 7 at one time, but that expired a long time ago. So I'm not allowed to say I'm a financial advisor, but I know the numbers. That's my advantage to working with that. Berkshire, we're looking to grow the Scottsdale office. If you're an agent trying to get in the business, I love their tools. It's a franchise. A lot of people don't know how the real estate business is set up. I pay Berkshire Hathaway as an independent contractor to use their tools and names in business for yourself, but not by yourself. So a lot of people don't understand that. Anyway, if you're an agent looking to get into the business, give me a call. I love helping out, mentoring new agents. Maybe it's the right place for you. Maybe it's not, but let's have that discussion. Anyway, I don't know. We'll wrap it up here. Anyway, if you like these are for you. Let me know what you want to hear. Hit that like button, please. I'm not an influencer. I could care less. I couldn't care less. I caught myself there. That one bothers me, but I couldn't care less. But hit like. It helps spread the word, and just trying to get the truth out there. If I can help you buy or sell residential, commercial, land, investment property, if you have a question, if you want to know where to hike in Arizona, if you want to know what 115 degrees feels like when you're out running, feels great, by the way. I'll take 115 over 85 and 90% humidity any day. So give me a shout, 203-733-5877. I know it's probably backwards for you, but that's to get you thinking. Let's not lose the ability to think. Give me a call. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Have a great day. Be smart, be safe, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.